Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm an international lawyer based in Vienna, which has, it feels like 50 degrees Celsius outside. But today we're not talking about the weather, we are talking about Ali Abdaal's Productivity Lab. So I've joined the first cohort of the Productivity Lab, which was capped with, I think, 500 members. And now that I've gained so much experience and information in the last months, I thought to myself, why not share it with you guys? This is the video I wished I had seen before joining the Productivity Lab. I will divide it into several, I think 7 sections, but I want this video to be also a bit of an informal one because I feel like you also need the soft information, not only the hard one, about what the Productivity Lab actually provides, all the systems that are in there, the website, communication, the community, the course. We will talk about all of these aspects, but I also want you to get a sense of how it feels to be in the Productivity Lab. So let's dive right into it. Point number 1, the live productivity system. So this is the brains of the Productivity Lab, basically, where Ali Abdaal has distilled all the information he gathered in his life and carved out a certain productivity system for you and me in order to help us become more productive. Now, if you had your own productivity system, which I had, and if you thought that was a smart productivity system, yeah, I can already tell you he probably has a better one. I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. Obviously, he has read a lot of scientific articles with regard to that, writing his book, which is New York Times, Sunday Times, whatever times they are, he's a bestseller of. So this productivity system is not only effective, in my opinion, but it is also really simple. He explains it in a way everyone can understand. And apart from the information and the teachings that you have, what I liked about the live productivity system, and that's soft information for you guys, is that you actually jump on several Zoom calls with all the other members where Ali shows up, he asks questions, it's interactive, you can ask questions, and he scribbles down stuff for you to understand, so he guides you step by step, and it's an experience you have to make. I really loved it. I really loved it. If you missed it, it's not an issue. Everything in the Productivity Lab is being recorded, so you can rewatch it later on. It's even being edited, so you only, get the information you need, and you don't have to, go through all of the questions that Ali asks in the beginning, for example, that maybe not be of interest to you. And one thing I want to highlight, as a former uni lecturer, the way he teaches is really great. So each time you start with a new chapter in the life productivity system, he summarizes what we did last time, or the last times. And I found that to be really helpful because we are all busy people, and sometimes maybe you're in the underground listening to his lectures, or maybe you are rewatching it and you didn't have time to get back to the materials and look at everything he taught beforehand. I think it's 5 live sessions, are maybe 2 hours. So that helps a lot. So you get a short recap and then you can just start off there. Point number 2, the website, app, communication, the community. That was one of the major things why I actually joined the Productivity Lab, because I had a productivity system going for me, but I thought I needed some people around me, accountability, that would help me a lot. And it actually really did. So the website is really beautiful. It has several sections and several subsections. There's the Productivity Lab home section, which has subsections like announcements, FAQs, feedback, etc. Then you have the Productivity Lab event section, where you have the live productivity system, all of the recordings, the reflection rituals, the expert workshops, etc. And then you have the Productivity Lab community section, where you have wins and learnings, where you have a general discussion, where you can share your experiences. You also have lab notes where Ali and his team, by the way, he has a great team, share certain YouTube videos, certain sources, certain books, in order to help you guys to be more productive in a holistic way. This website is accompanied by an app called Circle. It's also, I can't say anything bad about this app. It's just really helpful. You have everything on your phone, which you would usually have on your laptop. So the means for communication with other members and with the support team is made really easy. The access is really easy. You can, hop on a bus, and maybe you want to share your wins for the week, and you can share it with the community. People can like it, people can comment on it. I really like it because I feel it's social media for productive people. Yeah, so you don't have all of this unnecessary, cheap stimuli videos, but you have people actually trying to get forward with their lives, and maybe it does not spike as much dopamine, but it shouldn't actually. And sometimes it's great just looking into the app, and seeing what people have achieved and what you can learn from them, basically. So the connection, the distance between you and the community is made really, really short. So there is, if you want to reach out, you can reach out easily. A few words to Ali's team. It's really a great team. Yeah, customer support is top notch. They even offer one-on-one calls. They ask you to jump on one-on-one calls to tell them what you like about the Productivity Lab and what you don't like, and where you see possible improvements. It's, I don't know, beyond everything I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And the coaches, are really, really likable people. You really like them. So he has picked great people as his team, and you feel like you can always approach anyone at any time and ask questions and give feedback, and whatever you want, they are there for you. Point number 3, reflection rituals, recurring events during the subscription time. So you subscribe basically for a year, and you have certain recurring events in that year, which are, the annual review, the quarterly review, the monthly review, and the weekly review. I want to emphasize, this is my subjective experience, but I feel like this is the heart. If the life productivity system is the brains of the lab, this is the heart of the lab. It's one of the main things why I consider this lab to be really helpful to me personally. Because if you're anything like me, you have phases in your life where you work on certain stuff and you reflect on your gains, and you reflect on your milestones, and you are just, you have a high motivation high, productivity high. But sometimes you just fall out of that. And then after 2 months, you wake up and think to yourself, what did I just do for the last 2 months? What were my goals? Did I even reach the goals? And I feel like this helped me so much. By the way, they also give like certain materials, certain sheets where you can track your progress, which is really important. So you hop on Zoom calls with the lab coaches who guide you through a procedure that makes you reflect and think about the goals of the quarter or of the month or of the week. If you achieved them, if you didn't achieve them, why you didn't achieve them, what was hindering you from achieving them, what was actually helping you achieving them. So you reflect, you're constantly aware of your progress, you're constantly aware of your goals, and you're aware of yourself, so you can experiment with yourself. And I think this distinguishes Ali from so many people and other high achievers. I haven't seen a person that is so aware of his goals, aware of where he is actually standing with his goals, and who has such a close relationship to his productivity and to his goals and to his milestones, and who is so reflective. And this is, I think, the major component, the heart of the Productivity Lab, the heart of productivity itself. Reflection, reflection, reflection. And the best thing is, these rituals, for example, they are not only provided for once a week. For example, the weekly reflections, they are provided for 2 times, I think, in a week, Friday and Sunday. Obviously, at the end of the week, you reflect on, past week. And you also, at the end of this reflection, set goals for your next quarter, for your next month, and for your next week or annually, basically. So these weekly reflections, for example, are also recorded. So you don't actually need to hop on this specific reflections on a specific time. Whenever you have time, you can just go on the lab, look at the recordings, and then the coach guides you through all of the questions that you have to answer. And basically, if you've done it a few times, you don't need a coach. But again, accountability, it's just more fun if you're with other people. And the coaches always start with good music, good vibes. Even if you're like in a bad mood, the coaches try to motivate you for this upcoming session, whatever you're working on. And a lot of times it's Ali, a lot of times it's the other lab coaches, but all of them are doing a great job. These recurring rituals, are accompanied by focus hours. It's called focus hours, where again, lab coaches guide you through a certain procedure where you jump on a Zoom call again with other members, and you turn on your camera or you turn it off, however you wish, and you start working on stuff. So the focus hours is the blood that you're pumping through your productivity body. Yeah. So if the life productivity system is the brains, in my opinion, it's my analogy, so I can systemize stuff in my head because I need to. And if the reflection rituals are the heart of the system, of the lab, then I feel like the focus hours is the blood that you're pumping through your veins. And the focus hours work in a way where you jump on Zoom calls with lab coaches, which guide you through a certain procedure in order to get stuff done. And the best thing about this focus hours is it's not just once a day, it's not twice a day, I think it's several times a day. So no matter if you live in Australia, no matter if you live in the US, no matter if you live in Britain or in Austria, like I do, for example, there is always, a time where you can jump on even 2 or 3 times a day. If you're like a morning person, you can jump on focus hours in the morning. If you want to join the focus hours in the afternoon, you can do it in the afternoon. You can do it in the evening. You can do it late at night. That was the one disadvantage, or drawback that I had with regard to the system. But someone, and I'm really glad someone pointed out to, obviously, Ali and his team, that the focus hours are, placed at a time where a lot of people were working, so they just maximized them. So, for example, for me, I can jump on a call in the morning, I can jump on focus hours in the afternoon, in the evening, and at night. So I have 4 times the opportunity to join the focus hours. My experience with the focus hours is, in the beginning, I was more motivated. And now that I'm in for almost quarter a year, I've joined less and less focus hours. So this is, I think, also one of the advantages of the Productivity Lab. It's a subscription for a year, and basically Ali can only show you the way and give you the means, but you have to put in the work yourself. So focus hours are a bit tougher than listening to a live productivity system, listening to certain events, obviously, because you need to get stuff done. And sometimes I have a high and sometimes I have a low. But for example, now I have a low. I haven't joined them for a long time, and I need to get in more focus hours to make progress with my dissertation, for example. And I have made it my goal to join more of them. And the great thing is I can join them whenever I want. I can skip them in August, I can join them in October, I can join them next year in January if I like to, if I fancy. So this is such an advantage of having a subscription for a year. All of this material, all of these events are provided for throughout a whole year. So I've already alluded to point number 4, which are the materials that Ali provides for earlier. There are certain sheets that are provided for, certain sheets that you need for implementing the life productivity system. And obviously you don't have to take everything as Ali has done it. You can tweak them, you can customize it as much as you want. But I feel like the sheets that are provided for us, mainly for me, it was really great. I didn't need to change anything with regard to the sheets, maybe a few tweaks, but not too much. And I feel these sheets, they are really helpful. Combined with the reflection rituals, it's just gold. It's really gold. This is the greatest value that I've got, and I can't emphasize that enough. From the Productivity Lab, the main value are the reflection rituals and the materials that are provided for, so you can reflect on your goals and you make real progress. On that note, I also want to talk about a productivity measurement tool that Ali has come up with. It's called Productivity Catalyst. So you can each quarter or each month you can check if your productivity has actually risen or if it has declined. I have to say mine has risen a lot, and people share their experiences. They compare their first assessment with the second one, and there is a major improvement. Number 5, expert workshops. I love them because Ali sees productivity in a wholesome manner. So there are some aspects of productivity where he is just not an expert in, but which he feels people should know, and he himself maybe also should know. So he invites experts. I think I've seen one expert, Healthy Gamer GG, for example. Really great advice. You can ask them questions. Again, you hop on Zoom calls, you can ask questions. It's interactive. It's not only listening, you can also ask you can even turn on your camera and ask questions, or you can write the questions in the chat, whatever you want, whatever you fancy. So you feel there is a sense of belonging, and you learn a lot from these experts. Coming to the costs, I was a member of the first cohort, which was also a bit of a test and trial cohort, I think. So in order to get some feedback from the first cohort, Ali has provided a certain discount. So I paid 20% less than I think people usually have to pay, because I think it was a win-win situation. The lab members gave feedback to improve the lab, and at the same time, you know, in return, they got 20% off. So a yearly subscription costs around $1,000, which is a lot. It also sounds a lot, but if you break it down to 12 months, it's around, I think, $80-ish, yeah? And given that you're provided not only the material, but you're provided with these recurring events, daily focus hours, lab notes, the community, I think, in my opinion, it's worth the buck. Definitely, it's worth the experience. In my personal opinion, I even canceled my gym subscription because it's summer and I'm always training, you know, in the evening outside or at night outside. So I actually don't need to go to the gym. So I thought to myself, why not cancel the subscription for, I don't know, half a year? And then you have, I don't know, a third of the money that I have paid for the Productivity Lab already saved. So these are my mental games to maybe justify paying so much money. It was the first time that I paid so much money for course or for the lab or for something online like this. So in my opinion, again, it's worth every buck. And that leads me to point number 7, which is my personal opinion. Did it make me more productive? Yes, definitely. It definitely made me more productive. I can guarantee you that if you do the stuff that Ali teaches you, you will get more productive. Now, will you have a productivity high throughout the year? That depends on if you're putting in the work or not. So Ali can only provide the means, the system, the knowledge, the wisdom, the workshops, the focus hours, the events. But at the end of the day, you have to put in the work. Whatever goals you have to sit down and work on them. So realistically, for me, my personal experience, I probably will have a lot of productivity highs, then I will have a little bit of lows, and then I will have highs and lows and etc. And I hope I will learn so I can increase my productivity, you know, throughout the years, so that my lows are even much better than my highs, you know, in the previous years. So, and I notice my lows are not that low because I have access to the lab. I have access to the focus hours. You can RSVP all of the events. You can just, with a few clicks, have all of them, you know, in your Google Calendar or whatever calendar you're using. So you're reminded of the events, so you can join the events. It's made really, really easy. But again, Ali can provide you with everything, means, etc. But he cannot force you to not play PlayStation, for example, and instead do the work that you have to do. Yeah, so that's something you need to do. If you expect him to call you and say, hey, you should jump on that focus hour because you need to get your stuff done, he can't do that, you know, obviously. So all in all, I can strongly recommend the Productivity Lab to anyone who can spare the money. So if you have $1,000 lying at home and you're thinking about an investment that would enhance your productivity, I strongly, strongly advise you to join the Productivity Lab. It has definitely increased my productivity long term, and it has definitely given me all of the tools and the framework in order to become more productive and stay more productive. Plus, I love the community. I love the coaches. I love just being in there. Yeah, so the experience of being in there, the feelings that you have in the Productivity Lab, you just can't get anywhere else. But again, these are subjective experiences. This is my personal view on the Productivity Lab. You might differ, but I have to say I haven't met one lab member that was not happy about investing that money into the Productivity Lab. And that shows, I think, that in general, the Productivity Lab is helping people. Whatever decision you make, I wish you the best. I hope you will enhance your productivity in one way or another. I hope you will reach your goals, and I hope we will see us in the next video. So I've joined the first cohort of the